Hey people, we've got a few Prados here, so I thought I'd just run through some of the kilometres they've done and work they've had done and haven't been done and what's due and why. So you get a bit of a gist of what needs to be replaced and when on your 1KD FTV Prado. The reason those, well, we happen to have 4 of them here. We don't see a lot of V6s at all. We don't really see many 1KZs at all. We don't see any 90 series. There's a lot of things we don't. So we've even got a manual here. This one's a manual. So let me give you the rundown. This one's done about 160k, okay, 159 or something. It's just here for periodic injector replacement. He reckons it's a bit noisy. So we sort of discussed it and I said, look, there's no point mucking around. Somebody's had the pipes off. You can see those clamps there, a little bit squashed, which is enough evidence. You can see how it's rounded off a bit on the pipes. You can see all the scratches on the valve cover there. See on the plastic there. See those marks just there, right? And you can see on the pipes, the spanner marks. Can you see that? Maybe you can, maybe you can't. All right, so the pipes have been off. Contamination, heaps of times it's happened where this has happened. So new injectors, it's going to be all quiet. And you know, it's never been here before, so it's going to need the EGR clean and all that related sort of work. So let's just make an injector job. 160k, a bit early for 2015, that's what it is. But to me, it's running sweet. But if somebody says it's a bit noisy, I've had this heaps of times where I go, well, it sounds pretty good. But generally, they know the car best. Let's get it back to peak conditions. It's got to happen sooner or later anyway. And, you know, we'll just suck it and see. But I'm sure it'll be quiet. It'll be in peak condition and he'll be happy. So that's about it on this one. That's all it needs. Other than that, it's just general servicing for now. Looks like the timing belt's already been done. Otherwise, I would have said BFE at 150. Let's move across to the next one and see what we can find there. Okay, this one. This one's done. I've already forgotten how many Ks it's done. About what's this, 185k? Is that right? Yeah, 185k. So it's here for a 180k service, a little bit late. There's a bit of story with that. Possible bit of dodginess. Definitely some dodginess, but to what extent, we're not sure, with service books being stamped on services that aren't done. But anyway, you get that. That's another story in another video, maybe. There could be some police investigations on that one. So you need to be very careful before you go filling out books when services aren't done. Fraud, I think it's called, if it's not exactly how it should be. As far as I know the history on this one, it hasn't had an EGR clean, it hasn't had a plate, it's had a BFE job done at 150, not by me, but one of the workshop partners, so that's the good part about it. We're just catching up on it now. It's had a bit of a service. We didn't do the auto electrical. You don't really want to have a look under here, do you? See what I mean? There's like a thread or two left. Anyway, whatever. Somebody did that. Everything else is good. We'll get it back on schedule at 200,000 major service. Some EGR clean. He'll probably get the injectors done before then. 185k for 2014. It's certainly due for injectors. It's not terrible, but it's at that point where you go, you do it as prevention to keep it in good working order and prevent damage. It's preventative maintenance. Injector replacement is part of that, really. So yeah, all that's good. What else did you want to see here? So service we've just done, it's due for injectors and all that related work. So let's get across to the next one and skip it across to here. Now this one's really clean. You would have seen this. So we've just done a BFE job on this one as well. You can even have a look at the date if you like. We don't mind. So then you know what day it is when this video happened. Doesn't really matter. I'll randomly, some older ones, new ones, whatever. Sometimes same day, sometimes a week old, 2 weeks old. Maybe I've got some in the bank at the moment, but this thing's really clean. In my opinion, if this was my vehicle, I would just remove the catch can. You know, I'd clean the EGR. It'll be pretty clean because the catch can's probably been on there for new, and that takes the small amount of oil out, which acts as the glue, but it's not really the problem. It'll be very interesting when we do the injectors on this, which after he sees these videos, he's probably going to jump all over it. Injectors need to be done urgently. This one, when driving it, I can actually hear the injectors, the pre-detonation. Even though it's got the awesome software that you normally can't hear that, I can tell you 300,000 Ks is way too long for injectors on any 1KD, even if you've got the full DL season of 2014. If it was me, I'd just remove the extra. I'd sell the fuel filter, I'd sell the chip, I'd sell the catch can, and I'd sell the car. No, I wouldn't actually. It's really clean. So I'd put a new set of injectors and risk it for the biscuit. Worst case scenario, you're up for an engine, about 15 grand. So what else does this need? There's some fuel hoses there that look a bit kinked. They're a bit too bent, if you know what I mean. So just a little bit too, you know, you want this nice rounded natural bend Toyota comes up with, not this It's wide there, but here it's heaps thinner. It's really quite kinked off, to be quite honest. And you've got the fuel hose right next to the hot, you know, when it's running hot. So look, you know, and that's whatever, you know. I mean, we've been there, talked about it before. Nice new battery, yep, beautiful. BFE done, of course, that'll be beautiful. I've got to recheck that level now. Let's have a look at that now. Still a little bit over full, which is how we like to give it back to you. So if it drops down, it doesn't end up too low. We did one recently where I was a bit lenient on the coolant, and when he's cold, it's on the low line, but it obviously comes up when it warms up. So what I would rather have when it's cold in between, and when it's hot, it can come up to full. Any excess is just going to push out here and make a bit of mess. I'm not too worried about that. And then once it's done that, then that's the level set at the maximum without making any mess. Now, if I've got it correct, that's the third car. We've got one more car to go to give you a bit of history on. What year is this one? That's a good question. I think this was a 14 as well, but I could be wrong, to be honest. I should have a look, shouldn't I? Let me go and have a look for a sec. Yep, I was right, September 14. Happy days. And last but not least, this is the fourth car. This is a 2013. The history on this one is it got injectors at about 230,000 kilometers, which is probably a bit late, but it hasn't got a tow bar. It's never done any towing. It was running pretty well, but then, you know, it was a little bit noisy at times as well, but certainly running in peak condition with the new injectors now at just under 320,000 Ks, so less than 100,000 on those injectors, but a lot of trips. And I'm noticing it could probably do with a power steering fluid flush, which is something we don't talk about too much. We should probably get into a bit more of that with the older cars in another video. It's not something we do a lot of because the power steering just seems to work and not give us any problems, but nice clean oil in there is going to work better than the old stuff. This has had a pretty good history. New front wheel bearings recently, so they got held off till nearly a bit over 300,000 Ks, so got lucky there. And then the rear wheel bearings, they got noisy, the seal leaked into the brakes and that sort of thing. So the rear wheel bearings got done as well at, yeah, let's say 310,000 K roughly. The target you can expect to replace the rear wheel bearings is at about 350,000 Ks, but it doesn't mean everyone's got to do that. Keep an ear on them. Generally they get noisy or they'll get some play in them. Keep an eye on the oil. We showed in another video recently out of one of these cars, I don't remember which one, that little bit of oil on the passenger side rear around the back of the bearing. Just keep an eye on that because that's something that can happen. Another thing that seems to getting neglected, I don't know if it's other workshops or DIYs or skipping services, but the brake fluid starting to look pretty dark in a lot of these cars. And you know, when it's new, it's nice and light in color, so it gives me an indication of how many brake fluid changes and if it's been done, and if it's been done properly. I want to start to see some nice clear fluid in the brake fluid there, so people really need to get onto the brake fluid flush, changing the brake fluid and bleeding it through on all the vehicles, all makes and models, very important. This hasn't had a BFE. It got taken somewhere else where it got a genuine timing belt. I think one of the Toyota dealers did the timing belt, so I don't know if they did the idler or the tensioner, but it wouldn't have the drive belt changed, the bearings or the water pump, so that'll probably be leaking soon. Let me have a look. Is it original or has it been changed? Could be original, hard to tell. Doesn't look fresh. There's some dust and dirt on the top bolt down in there, so okay. Beautiful, nothing else to see here. It's getting pretty boring. Back to the one with all the gear that he's had since new and really well looked after and well set up, really. I mean, you go a bit neater with these wires. Would be nice to bring it around the side and tidy all this stuff up, but really clean car. I mean, just have a look at it. So the problem with the catch can is taking the moisture out will allow all that dry abrasive soot to go through, and some people, you know, chemistry, whatever you want to call it, have said in the comments that, you know, that soot's not really that hard and whatever, but whatever it is, then it seems to be the pattern though. When they've got the catch can, they've got the tighter valve clearances, so this will be a really good one. So I remind you again, subscribe, turn the bell on so you don't miss that, because that will be interesting. Now I don't think, to be honest, he's going to understand, because he doesn't understand how important it is to do the injectors. He hasn't understood how important it is not to have this chip here. They're the two most important things here. This is the number one problem. That's the number two problem. So I'm going to try and explain it to him again. And if we get to that, I don't think I'm going to have much of a case on an extra fuel filter or a catch can. But I'll try and send him some videos. We'll see what happens. There'll be more videos on this at a later date. So subscribe, turn that bell on. It'll be interesting. Let's see what happens. Could be an engine, like someone said at the start of one of the other videos. And the fifth and final, this is the one, the only one that's actually in the workshop at the moment that we're working on. And I just wanted to wrap it up by saying Most people probably didn't watch the video this long, so the same people will make the same mistake and not have one of these on their keyring and not have it handy when it's required, like this vehicle. We do have a couple of spares to lend you, but we charge $200 each for them, okay? So you're much better getting them off kaon.com.au for about $12 delivered to your door. And the $200 is conditional that you replace 2 of them for me. So if I have to lend you 1, you need to give me 2, and it'll cost you $200. If you bring your own, it costs you nothing. Happy days, right? Simple stuff. Do you get it? I don't want to supply them, and we don't buy, sell, or install them. Get it? You know what I'm saying? Wink, wink. Hello, hello. Happy days, right? You need to bring your own plate. You need to watch more videos, because I keep repeating stuff that I've said 100 times, and let's all have a laugh about it anyway. But this has just had a preliminary cleanup, and it's about to get a new set of squirters. Standard sort of job. Mate, have you done the scrape and vac on the inlet manifold yet?
Yes.
Yeah, wasn't too bad. Just a bit of a scrape and vac. Usual sort of thing. Beautiful. E-jars nice and clean. I'm just going to show them a little bit what it looks like. So I hope you've done a pretty good job. It's not all blocked up, whatever. See, that doesn't look, that's all dark in there anyway. The light's not on. Anyway, the point is, people, when we get to this stage and we look down there, if your E-jar is the one that's caked up, then that's what we clean, all these components that have already been removed. I'm not going to waste your extra $1,000 ballpark on labour, time, coolant, gaskets and whatever, and pull the manifold off, you know, all this stuff here and this whole box and everything, because our experience for many years is we don't need to do that. It makes no difference. The ones we've done, you know, it's just wasn't worth doing, to be quite honest. We've looked and we've shown them on videos before what it looks like, whatever, but the picture is when it's just dry and crusty and it's mainly just around here, and you look further. Sometimes you've got to scrape and vac that out, and then you look further up and you go, yeah. If you've done the job, you know what I mean. If you haven't, everybody else knows what I mean. So you want to become one of those people that have done the job. Or if you don't want to do the job, just send me a text message on Monday mornings at 7:30 a.m. and say, hey, I'd like to get a set of injector replacement done. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll send it to the Prados Hospital or one of the workshop partners, and we'll hook you up with someone. We've got help in Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, Perth. You know what? Pretty well that's enough, isn't it? Thanks for watching. Bada bing, bada boom. Catch you on the next video, people. See ya.